So, JP, for our next episode today, what did you want to cover? Or should I pull one of the questions from our
I think you
audience?
should pull a question from our audience, Khek.
Okay, let's do
See
it.
what's going on.
Okay. In the theme of what we've been doing for our last couple of episodes, I think this one is actually a great question. From Topeka, Kansas. Our real estate agent's asking, how do I know I'm getting enough ROI from my leads? Like, I'm spending all this money. How am I making, it feels like, I've been told, like, you gotta squeeze as much juice out of it, right? So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so determining return on investment, it really just comes back to, one is, are you net positive, right? So
Yep.
like, if the amount of money I'm spending is less than the amount of income I have coming in, then really that's how I'm determining whether or not those leads are good. And good meaning, are you at least having conversation? And I just heard a great term, which is your database is your data bank. So that way you're able to determine, like, how much money do you have, like, floating around in your database. So if you just take the amount of leads that you have in there, and the statistic nowadays is 1 out of 12 people in your database will transact at some point. So when you think about, like, how much of that, so like if you had 6,000, like, this is the stat, I don't even know if I want to go down this road, but I have 6,000 leads in my database. So if I divide that by 12, so there's roughly, what is
500.
that, 500 people in there that are willing to transact at some point. And I take my average price point, which is like $380 in our area, so that's right around $6,000-$7,000 per 500 deals. So there's like $300,000 worth of transactions inside of my database right now. Actually, no,
within that year, or I'm just kind of curious, like,
No, it's just at some point, 1 out of 12 at some point will transact. If you factor in, like, how long people are going to stay in a house, they're in there for at least 7 years. I think in our area it's 5 is our average.
Sure.
And then you're going to have some people that are just never going to move. Those people that so if you figure out 1 in 12. So I just want to do this math because I think it's going to be fascinating to see what this number is. So 6,000 leads divided by 12,
that's
500, and 385,000 times 0.025, which is our average. So that's 9,625 times 500. So there's $4,812,500 of gross commission income that's just floating around in my database right
Cha-ching!
now. So if I want to make a modest $250,000 a year, so I have 20 years worth of income just sitting in my database right now.
So what are you saying? Are you saying then, hey, I don't need to spend that much on leads and I should be able to kind of close on it? I just need to nurture it? Is that what you're thinking?
I just need to nurture and make phone calls? Send text messages and emails? Huh. Sounds very familiar. Did we or did we not say that at the beginning of this podcast?
Yeah. No, it's a good reminder. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying you can spend enough money, as much money, but really it's not so much in the once you have enough volume, you don't have to spend that much. It's really about the follow-up.
It is. And when you think about your return on investment, you've probably already spent that money. So now you just have to do the work part and then get the return.
This is going to be a poof moment, a mind-blowing moment, man. What you're saying is, hey guys, don't spend that much on marketing or lead generation. Just go after your database, right?
Go after your database. As a matter of fact, I was just talking. Actually, I was listening to a gal who teaches classes on like how to build teams and stuff, and she was talking about how when she onboards new agents, she gives them 10 leads a day in the first week. And part of the training is that they have to make live phone calls so that they're in production. Day one, they're already learning how to make phone calls. And she said that they have added 20% a year in production just based off of calling those old dead leads in the system.
Wow. Okay. So I guess, like, if you want to, here's a couple of tips then. What I'm hearing from you, and tell me if I'm off base, I mean, it's kind of like I'm digesting what you're saying too. Don't spend more money on generating more leads. It's really spending the time and effort on cultivating those leads that you already have in your database. And if you can't, so here's my 2 cents in this whole mix then. If you can't to call on them, or you're too scared, shall I say, to call on those people, hire somebody to do it for you. And if money's too tight right now, come and talk to me. We've got an AI that will help you reach out to those leads on your behalf too, for
100%.
pennies on the dollar. Okay.
Cheaper than hiring staff.
Oh, for sure. But actually, it's a really good point. It was not my intention of that question, that I didn't think of the answer of where you're going with that, but I 100% agree with you. You got me at hello. Okay. Well,
I mean, it's just insane. Like, and honestly, you can achieve that. You can achieve that just by doing, 100 calls a week. Just making 100 calls a week. Just doing it consistent, 100.
And what you're suggesting, guys, and if you guys don't pick this up, I'm going to just call it out. JP is really actually very pragmatic. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this, man. I love it. Okay. Well, hey, guys, tune in, hit like and subscribe, and tune in for our next episode as we produce this and share more ideas and tips as we get the questions from you guys.
Awesome.